Go.
Hey everyone!
Hi everybody!
Good evening, good afternoon,
Hey,
good morning.
everyone.
Hi,
Everybody.
time zone to you all.
Good evening, good
I'm
afternoon,
Jess
good
and
morning.
by
Hi,
time
everybody.
host Joe and Abby, aka the house. I'm Jess and by
Hi,
time host
everybody.
Joe and Abby, aka guest host in the flesh. It's Amanda Pandas here. So yeah, friends, we are going to have a lovely, cozy conversation with our wonderful guest in just a moment. But let us say hello to everyone in the chat that came in, anyone that's working and lurking. I see Unruly Cats is here, Gus or Not is here, of course, Phantom and Panda and the Baker Meeple and myself, and anyone else that might be sitting down to some dinner time right now.
Hi,
or
Lady T.
hanging
Hi,
out.
Lady T.
Hi, lady.
Yes, Lady T, welcome in. Let's go around the table, friends, and share who we are and what we do in the board gaming sphere, starting with you, Panda.
Oh, I was not surprised. Not really.
She
I'm
usually
Amanda
starts with
Panda.
me.
I'm a board game Twitch streamer. Sometimes to do video games, sometimes do art, but most of the time I play board games with friends, sometimes solo, and I stream 4 times a week. It's a lot. Tuesdays at 3 Pacific, Thursdays at 1 Pacific with the Panda and Phantom
Show.
Friday at noon with Book of Nerds, and Sundays at 11 a.m. And I'm happy to be here physically in person, meeting up with my friends, Jess and Phantom, if you've been watching. So, yes. Hi, Anne.
Yes, hello to Anne and Lady T.
Yeah.
Loving the ghosts. Tonight
Okay.
we're actually doing it's all Abby's overlay. So
Yeah.
if you
It's
give
beautiful.
Abby a follow, please, the Baker Meeple. She is
Yeah,
fantastic.
Brand new overlay
Brand
that I
spanking
worked
new.
on today.
That was
I
Joe's
love
project
it so,
of the day.
so much. So yeah, take it away, Abby. What do you do on Twitch, my dear?
Yeah, so I'm the Baker Meeple, Abby. I stream stuff and things. Mostly video games lately, although I finally have put it on the calendar to do some hefty board game streams again with Joe. And I like to bake and play board games and theme them together. My brain forgot what I did. Jeez Louise. I was like, what do I do on the thing? Yeah, so I will like bake a specific kind of cookie and theme it to a board game. And
Yeah.
I live with Joe and harass him. That's what I do
She
here.
just made some macadamia and white chocolate, and they were amazing.
So
Yes.
tasty.
So good.
Was like, if these suck, well, I just made a whole bunch of cookies that suck. And Joe's like, you've used the recipe. I'm like, no, I changed it. So we're going to hope it worked out. And he comes in
worked.
later. He goes, it worked real good. And I was like, oh, okay, good. Because I committed to it. Like, I made 3 dozen cookies, whether or not they were good.
Lady T says, Abby, let's bake some board game cake.
Yes.
You do need to do a cake.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't decorate. So I will make a delicious cake. It will just be very ugly.
This doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be tasty.
No, I'm just saying we got to lower those expectations. Like whatever
Yes.
you think, make it lower, and then my cake will look acceptable.
Is it one of those Instagram things where or Pinterest where you're just like the attempt and then the
Yes.
actual like
Yes.
product?
The Pinterest
Nailed
fails.
All right, and then we've also got Joe, aka the Phantom Meeple.
Yes,
what do you do on Twitch, Joseph?
Hello, everybody. I am Joe, aka Phantom Meeple, recently converted board game streamer here on Twitch. I'll get back to video games one of these days, but I'm just having too much fun doing tabletop stuff. It's been so much fun. So Tuesdays and Fridays over on my channel, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, usually with the lovely lady over to my left. And yeah, it's always a good time. So check us out.
Yes. And for me, friends, you all know me as Jess_CCG here on Twitch and on all the socials. I'm a board game Twitch streamer, usually interacting with you all in the chat on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This month, I am doing themes around Harvest Festival. So stick around on all the socials to find out what game I'll be playing on Wednesday. I have a couple in mind, so we'll have to see what actually gets to the table in a few days. But tonight, friends, we're going to have a beautiful, lovely, cozy conversation with a wonderful game designer. You might know her from such games as Abandon All Artichokes, It is the beautiful Emma Larkins is here.
Yay!
Da, 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 da.
There she is.
Technology!
Yes,
It
the
works.
magic of streaming.
Yay! Emma, tell everyone who you are and what you do in the board gaming space.
My name is Emma Larkins, and I am a board game designer. I used to do other things, such as host a podcast and stream on various platforms, but now pretty much just making the board games. Like you mentioned, I made Abandon All Artichokes, also made a game called And Then We Died, which is very thematic for this time of year, because it's a storytelling game where you play as ghosts trying to figure out how you died. Pass on to the other side. I also have Squabbling Goblins that came out earlier this year from Button Shy, a very small wallet game. And I have a new game, Starry Night Sky, coming out early 2023.
Yay!
Lots to look forward to.
A lot
If
of
you
good
don't have
stuff.
any of them in your collection, please take a moment to just investigate them, at least.
Yeah.
I don't want to force anybody to buy games because I know budget and pandemic, and it's crazy times right now, and people are feeling FOMO from Essen. But I will say that Abandon All Artichokes is fun to own and also to play.
Yeah.
So I will give that thumbs up of approval.
And you can find it anywhere. You can find it at
Yes.
Target. You can find it at, most of the big box stores from what I see. Lady T says the storytelling one was How Did We Die? Or what was the name? I'm sorry.
And Then We Died.
And Then We Died, Lady T. So go check it out.
Currently only available through my website, emmalarkins.com. It's between publications, so I have a lot of copies of it, but I'm working on getting it republished, hopefully
cool.
sometime
awesome.
soon.
That's awesome.
But it is available. I have it here. I put it in a mail envelope, and then I put it in my mailbox, and it goes out into the world. It's great.
You get it direct from the designer.
Oh yeah, I put I sign all the copies. Sometimes, if I remember, I put in a copy of my bookmark game as well. So potentially get some extra goodies.
Yeah,
There you go, friends. Right there in the chat for you all. Check out Emma's website. So yeah, friends, we're just going to go around the table here, kind of round robin style, throwing some questions to Emma. But if you all have questions in the chat, please feel free to ask them. I'm going to let Joe start us off with the questions. So take it away, Joe.
Wait.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But before we get this underway, one thing we missed, Emma, you did not join Pixel Chat yet.
I think she's having
I don't
headphone
think-
issues.
Oh no.
So she just posted that, so I just relinked it for her.
And I didn't think she heard that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
Pixel
That's okay.
Chat.
Yay!
What?
Closed captioning.
Yeah, just to make sure we get you into closed captioning, so everybody, gotta
Ooh.
all the good tech stuff.
Enter your username. Is it I just pick a name?
Whatever-
And-
Yeah,
you
you can just
like,
pick
or
a
you
name
just-
if you want to. It's
You
whatever's
could
going to
be
show up
the
on the chat.
designer.
Whoops.
The star.
Yep, there we go. Now Emma's on
Yay.
Pixel Chat.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put like
All right.
Queen E on there,
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing I always use my name for things, because that could have been awkward. It's just
Yeah.
like hee.
Hey, that makes things easy.
That's true.
All right, so let's kick things off. We'll start out easy. So, how did you get into board gaming, Emma?
Into playing board games?
Playing, designing, however you choose to answer.
Yeah, I was actually pretty late to the party when it comes to playing board games. I mean, playing modern board games. Like most people, we had Monopoly and Mousetrap and probably Scrabble. Like, the few of the classics when I was a kid. I do remember playing Mousetrap as a pretty young child. Might have been 10 or so, and just being so upset that the game, not about the rules, the mechanics or anything, but the physical components of it just didn't work very well. Sometimes the thing didn't do, like it went halfway through and it didn't go all the way through. And I guess it was designed that way technically, so that you didn't always lose, but I was just mad, so that might have planted the seeds of wanting to design things myself, because in my little kid brain, I was probably like, I could do better than this. But jump forward 10 or 15 years to college, and I do remember playing Catan, and this would have been in probably 2002, 2003, and then jump forward another decade. Didn't really play board games. Traditionally was much more of a video gamer. But until I met my now husband, Phil, who had the shelf. And I'd never seen someone with the shelf before. Anyone who's a board gamer here will know what I mean when I say board gamers, we don't always have bookshelves. Sometimes we have just game shelves, And going over to his apartment, I was like, what are these? What is this? These are games. Interesting. And he really helped to introduce me to some of the ones we played together early on. Summoner's Wars, Lords of Waterdeep, City of Iron, which melted my brain, but kind of really introduced me. It's a Ryan Lockett game. It took us like 3 hours to play. But really kind of showed me what modern board games could be. So yeah, I've been playing them pretty much ever since.
Awesome. That's kind of a similar story how Abby and I got started into board gaming.
Yeah.
We've told the story a bunch of times now, but long story short, she had just moved in. She was looking for shoe space. She opens up my closet, finds a small pile of board games. 7 years later, we have tons of shelves.
Nice.
All because I wanted to be polite, man. Look what happened.
Yeah, all because you just wanted to put away your shoes, and now we spent thousands of dollars on these amazing games, and now we're sitting here talking about them on Twitch, which is great.
And I still don't have a spot for my shoes because there's still games in the closet too.
What are you gonna do? Anyway, so perfect segue. Abby, you can take the next question, my dear.
What is your go-to player color?
Oh, red. Anyone red? No.
I was gonna say, I think you're like the
play a game together.
first person who's like red. Everybody else is like, I guess I'll take red. Like,
Yeah.
Wow. For some reason, I get the sense that red is. I feel like there's more. I come into conflict with people sometimes over the red player color, and the people who pick red, I don't know. Like, I guess it's kind of counter to what you were saying, but I feel people are very passionate about red as a player color.
I don't know, but every time it's always blue. We always fight about blue, and people are passionate about blue.
Especially when you and I play games, Amanda. We're always fighting over blue.
Are we though? But usually you're very nice and capitulate, and I just
Well, see, mostly it happens on BGA because you put in your player
That's
color
true.
preferences.
BGA chooses for you, which is why. Like me and Benita, though. Oh, that is a mini competition game before the game.
If they need to have like light blue and dark blue in the same game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's cutthroat.
Yeah, and I capitulate to Benita because she's more competitive than I am. But yeah,
too funny.
BGA is really nice for that though, because you pick your. I only just found this recently because someone said like, oh, so and so was sorted by their player color. I'm like, what? You can choose your player color, but then it uses at random or something, so you never have to fight.
Well, you choose the one you want the most, and then you have like four.
Yeah.
And then sometimes
or you just play a game that doesn't have any of your preferences, and you're like, I guess I'm beige.
Exactly.
I'm playing orange today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say red is more common player color, and that's been my classic player color. But in recent years, if there's pink, I like to go for pink. And people usually just give me pink. They'll just assume, they'll be like, oh, I assume you want to be pink.
I see why you want that.
Yeah.
I just need to dye my hair blue again, and then blue's my player.
Yeah, and then people just give it to you. You don't have to fight over it because.
Oh, I was like, oh, Emma's in the chat now.
I had
She's in
to
the
do it.
Pixel chat now and in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
She's everywhere, everyone.
Emma is everywhere.
There was a little bit of a gauntlet to get into the chat, and I didn't. It was like, oh, you got to do this, and I did this. It's like, oh, you got to do this, and I did this. But I got.
We didn't
there,
tell you there's
so.
actually like a little mini game
Yes.
Oh yeah.
beforehand.
Yep, and
It was
there's gonna
great.
be and there's gonna be a quiz after.
Yes.
Ah.
What is my phone number? Shoot.
Yeah.
What's your social security?
Yes,
and
what are-
mother-
what
Oh
are the-
yeah.
What's
What
your
are the-
blood
what are the-
type?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the first 16 digits of your credit card number and expiration date?
Okay.
And,
yeah.
and those last 3 on the back too. Those ones too. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, can't forget those. Those are important.
All right, next question, Emma. Do you prefer cooperative games or competitive games?
Oh, am I not asking questions?
Yeah, you
Oh,
are.
okay. I was
We're
just-
going around the table.
Okay.
That's a good question. I would say competitive just because I've played a lot more of them, and I feel like people have been making more of a breadth of design in competitive games for longer. I think cooperative games, they've existed for a long time. You know, it's like Pandemic's been out, Forbidden Island has been out for a long time. But I think it's only recently that you're getting a really like all sorts of really different cooperative games. And I like experimenting with different kinds of games. I've also, I don't know if I've just had bad luck with cooperative games, because I love the idea of working with people, and I've definitely played good cooperative games, but I've also played a bunch that just didn't feel like they quite worked.
Oh.
Like they were too susceptible to quarterbacking, or there was just too much going on.
Interesting. Because the way you got Abandon All Artichokes was you were just making like names up.
Yeah.
Now, are those games still being worked on, or do you just have a whole bunch of titles for games still like sitting around?
Oh, the other names on the list?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good question. Wow. I revisit the list every now and then just to kind of, it's a fun story to tell people. And there is fun stuff on there. But I don't know. I don't know how many, because they're all alliterative names on the list. I don't know how many alliterative titles I can put out there before people start to like see what's up before the jig is up. Right? So, like,
Well, I mean, you think about Freedom and Freeze.
yes.
Like, you
Yes.
always know he's going to put some kind of, starting with the letter F in
Yeah.
his game.
Yeah. Well, that's like, but at this point, they're not all alliterative. So some of them would be, but there are some good names on the list. So I think there was something about otters in there. So I should go back there and see if I
Do
can.
y'all know the story that Joe and Abby
Nope.
The story of what?
of how like Abandon All Artichokes
Yeah,
came about?
Emma has actually told me this story, but I don't think Abby knows.
Nope.
Feel free to share, Emma.
Yeah, I'm actually, let's see if I can find my list to see what else is on there.
Oh.
For a long time, I was doing a creative exercise that I called Game Design Daily, where I set myself different tasks to kind of get my creative juices flowing. And it was good for content for social media because I would always post about it. And one of the tasks I gave myself was to write an alliterative list of board game names, but there was no games. So it's just an alliterative list of words that are alliterative in mushed together. So I came up with 20 or so, actually, while I was riding the bus to go work at Mox Boarding House, which is a board game store that I used to work at. And then I posted a picture of the list to Twitter, and someone said, I will buy Abandon All Artichokes. No game or anything. They just love the name so much. So that kind of stuck in the back of my brain. And like 4 or 5 months later, I was looking for an idea for a new design, and that's how Abandon All Artichokes was born.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
That is a great story.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm like, how do I access this? I'm like, maybe it's in my design diary. Oh yeah, here we go. Bouncy Buffoons, Uncle Ulf's Ultimatum,
Ooh.
I like that.
Order
There's a
of
name.
Oranges,
Oh my goodness.
Tattoo Tangle, Tulip
Ooh.
Temptation, Operation Ogre, Moose, Meat Mongoose, illicit insects, and Pickle Pinch.
Oh my gosh.
I love all of them.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
Some of those are a mouthful, but they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too cool. Too
That's
cool.
so fun.
All right, Panda, what you got?
That was my question.
That was your question. All right, Joe, back to you.
All right, time for my absolute favorite question of the interview, and we've gotten so many different answers on it, and it usually catches people off guard, so we'll see. Do you still consider yourself a player first, a designer second, or has the creative process overtaken the hobby aspect of gaming for you?
100% the creative process has overtaken. I can't even remotely play games anymore. I don't want to say play games for fun, because it's like I still do play games and enjoy them, but it's just a very different sphere. It's like not even going into another room in the house. It's like a completely new house on a different planet, a different continent on a different planet. It's the weird part was I didn't even realize it right away until people started pushing back on my response to the question, oh, what did you think of the game?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I would, play games with people, and sometimes you discuss, oh, what'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the game? And I've since realized that a normal answer is something like, oh yeah, it was fun. Like, that's what the people want you to say or expect you to say. It's like, oh my gosh, it was awesome. Or it's like, oh yeah, it was pretty fun. Like, that's the range. And my answer would be more along the lines of, it's like, yeah, so in the beginning, on the second turn where you were turning in your resources to acquire a mode of transportation, like, it didn't, the vehicles that were available in the market just didn't really seem that balanced. And I think that, like, starting there, and then you got the better mode of transportation, and it really made it so that you had very different choices throughout the course, etc. etc. And that's not a normal thing, apparently.
I think it's normal for most designers. We've done that.
We've
with
had
Tate.
that. Yeah, we've done that.
Like-
We've talked with Tate Wu before, and he'll tell you
Okay.
the exact same thing, Emma. It's
Yeah.
like, actually, if this wasn't a bunch of like paper tokens, but actually like a player board with like a sliding scale,
Yeah.
that would have worked a lot better. And
Yeah.
we're like, Tate, we did not design this game.
No.
We just are
Yeah.
sitting down and playing this with you.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
this
have
wasn't
fun?
a protest.
Yeah. And it's funny because he'd be like, wait, let me see if I can break this game real quick. And we're like,
Yeah.
that's not how you play, Tate.
That's not how you play board games.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So as a quick follow up to that, Emma, do you think you as a designer find yourself analyzing more when you play rather than enjoying it?
Yeah, I've come back around a little bit, because I definitely had a period where I would get just really into the weeds. Part of it, though, is historically I've been very competitive too, and really not just disliked losing, but disliked being confused during the game, or like the pieces not coming together so I could kind of unpack and analyze and make a good strategy, but also losing. So I really, I think the one moment where it really became clear to me was during a game 7 or 8 years ago of Mario Kart. and just how, because historically I've always sucked at Mario Kart. It's a very difficult game for me, console games in general. And I was just with like 4 other people and I was failing so badly and I was so mad. And I had a moment of clarity like, wow, it does not matter this much. I don't know why it's affecting me so much. So I've tried to unpack that a little bit, you know, and say, like, it's only a game. It can still be fun. You don't have to win or even understand. You know, you just go in there and kind of mess around with things and play and have fun. So yeah, the part of it, I think, comes from being a designer and wanting to understand how things work because it works for my job. But part of it is just being competitive. Nothing wrong with being competitive, but a lot of times you have more fun if you can let go of that.
Well, James said that, let me see, where is it? But that's how designers play. For some of us, breaking the game or trying unique things is the fun part, which is true.
I could see that on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, my dear Abby.
Well, first off, your pixel chat's not working anymore. But next question.
Well, send me a new link.
Next question is, what's the last game you backed on Kickstarter?
Oh.
Dangerous.
Or it doesn't have to be a game. Like
Or
for some
last
of us, we backed, last thing, because for some of us, like Board Game Day, Ambi's kids book, you know, some folks back that.
And it doesn't have to be Kickstarter. It could be any crowdfunding. Because now what?
Oh, yes, there's like 8 of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. A year or two ago, I would have had like a list of 20 things, but I really dialed back recently, in part because I hit that point of collection where it got to the point where I just had way too many unplayed games and I wasn't playing enough games to catch up, and I was realizing that I was backing stuff that I was never going to play. And I really wanted to back things that friends made, but sometimes that would sit on my shelf and I would feel bad. So pulled back on backing games sight unseen. I think one of the recent things that actually didn't make its funding goal that I was a little sad was these stackable dice. I think it was KOLOR dice, color dice. And it's like 5 pieces. So you could make like a burger with like different colors and like snap them together.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I was really excited because I love dice. I collect dice. I was like, oh, these are so unique. But unfortunately, they didn't quite hit their goal. So, but they seemed chipper in their latest update. So hopefully they'll be back.
Dice Goblins United.
Dice Goblins United. Yeah,
Yes. I can I should probably show my thing.
Please do, Emma.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Show us
Show
us all the math rocks. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love it.
Wait.
Backside? Oh.
It's dual-sided. That's the best thing I've ever seen.
Did you buy that?
Yeah, I got it off Etsy.
Yeah. If I don't know whose Discord server we were in, but I remember Emma was like, I don't know if I should get this.
By the way.
I remember she was saying that. She was like, I don't know if I should get this, y'all. I need some opinions. And like everyone was like, Emma!
I was like, go buy it.
I feel like it was probably Monique's chat. Monique's.
Oh, it might have been
Monique.
Game Freak.
Yeah, it was Game Freak Girl. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, it was too funny though, because we were all just like groveling over it. We're like, what? This is so cool.
Yeah, and it was even better than I expected. It's by a manufacturer that mostly makes minis cases. So, mini or like war games, because you'll often have that sort of foam insert for transporting all of your miniatures. Yeah, let me see if I can.
It's a kitty.
James has just recently backed Loot Dispute by Jeffrey Allers.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, look at the
Oh.
Oh, look at the flooper.
What do you think? You want to be
We love our
famous?
floopers.
I've enjoyed meeting everybody's pets.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be snuggled though. He just wants to put his claws in my armrest. That's his vibe.
All right. Oh, 9 current Kickstarter
Oh,
says
good Lord,
unruly.
unruly.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't even want to look unruly. I probably have more than that.
Dude,
I
I've got my list behind me. Let's see. I've got 3, 6, 9, 12. I've got 15. We've got 15 pending Kickstarters.
Well, I got print and plays for 2 of them, but I don't even think we added those ones because I was
No, those were not
half
on the list.
asleep and I was like on a backing spree, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm
Nice.
like, "They're print and plays for like $2. I can't say no to that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be all about that lifestyle. I'm a super backer, so I definitely have made my share of backings. Just
All
taking
right,
a
what
break.
you got,
Taking a
Panda?
break.
Oh no, it's Abby's turn.
Abby just asked about Kickstarters.
Oh, okay. What was the next one?
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever you want to ask.
Okay, well, my stream always loved the stream snacks, and we get people really, really hungry. So, what's your favorite game night snack or snack to eat while playing games?
Ooh, snack specifically while eating games. I
Because
had,
it's a contentious thing, right? Like, do
Yeah.
you use chopsticks? Do you just have napkins?
yeah, the I had a game night last night, so I know very clearly I like chips and stuff in general, but it gets a little greasy for a game night. So I think a little tidier is candy, but specifically anything like chewy and gummy and maybe a little bit sour. So last night we had high chews, and also I don't even remember the name of it. I just went I saw something brightly colored and like sour straws with like something in the middle of them. They were very very
with
good,
the gummy
though.
in the middle, right? That's like
Yeah. But I will eat too many. Like gummy bears too is also a great snack, and I will eat like the big bag of gummies.
you
gummy
just have to
bears.
be careful playing games like Azul, where
Oh, yeah.
your pieces look like the candy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
starburst
I-
while playing Azul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a game like a gummy bear game? Like a
Probably.
game that looks like
There
gummy
probably
bears?
is.
Oh, Honey Buzz. Those pieces look like gummies.
That's the
Oh,
whole reason we
yeah.
bought
Free
that
games.
one.
Yeah.
because the pieces look like gummies. So great.
If there isn't a gummy bear game, there should be one.
There should
There
be
needs
one.
to be.
Emma.
Yeah.
Let's
Hey Emma, can you?
talk.
Yeah. Can we like entice you to design a gummy bear game?
Uh-huh.
She's like, can't talk right now. I have an idea.
No, I always Google first to see.
Yeah,
I mean, not that
that's
you
smart.
can't make something if it already exists. There is a Gummy Bear Factory game from 2010.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
But not like a straight Gummy Bear game. So yeah,
Oh,
I'll
there
have
you
to think
go.
about that.
And how would you alliterate gummy bears?
That'd be tough unless you made it like one word. Gummy Bear.
Yeah.
Gummy Bear. Gummy Bear galoshes.
Ooh.
It would be
The
gummy bears
possibilities.
in the rain trying not to melt.
Oh,
Oh, I
And they
love it.
have little umbrellas.
Yeah, I'm
that'd
in.
be awesome.
I'm
Yep.
in.
Coming to crowdfunding
I was like,
2023.
you have at least 3 backers right here.
By the way,
exactly.
That is a terrible skill that I have. Kitty.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, now Boo wants to be famous.
Aw.
He knows the rules. He bothers me. He
I
has to
was
get
like,
on camera.
he must have been making noise because that's the rule. We're like looking at him. We're like, if you make noise, you have to come on camera, and he'll sit there and he'll keep making noise. It's like,
Yep.
okay, well,
Yep. So now you have to wave to the crowd. Hi.
Hi, Boo.
What a little muffin.
And now he runs.
And now he runs away.
Yeah, this is a terrible, terrible skill to have because I will word vomit something and someone be like, that sounds great. You should make that. And sometimes it's in a meeting with like a publisher or something. And then actually
Now you're on the
making
hook.
the game turns out to be very hard. It's a lot harder to make a game than to spew out a cool sounding concept. But yeah, gummy bear galoshes. I'll put on the list.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we could say this is the start of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already got your origin story, which is great.
I love having a variety of origin stories. Because like name first, theme first, mechanics first, stream first, pitch first.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Emma, what do you have a favorite game mechanism?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like I have to go back to BGG again to find the list because there's so many of them.
Would it be different, like a game mechanism that you love to play versus a game mechanism you love to design?
Yeah. I think for design, I kind of tend to gravitate to at least hand management. And hand management isn't even really a game mechanic. It's just like, hey, you have cards and some of them are in your hand and you look at them and you do stuff with them. Maybe for playing too, because Fantasy Realms is one of my favorite. Oh, actually, no, drafting, I would say. Not for designing, but for playing. I really love drafting. So, yeah. Drafting.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It was
like Magic
interesting.
too.
Magic?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just interesting. I think someone on Twitter was like, drafting's a hard mechanic to teach people that are not into gaming.
I wouldn't think
You know what I
so.
mean?
No, I saw that and I actually agreed with it because it was. I
Yeah.
think it was like Sushi Go is actually
Yeah.
from that aspect not the best intro game because if you have no idea what you're
Yeah,
doing,
okay.
Yeah.
and you're just like you just draft cards and then you're like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
But I think Abandon All Artichokes helps that. Like that one's a good way to introduce drafting mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one.
Yeah.
I mean, not to toot Emma's horn, but, you know, toot toot, says
Yeah.
Panda.
I don't know if I'd exactly call it a drafting because I think more technically, if you have a hand of cards and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's
take
true.
one and then pass the rest to another person, or if you're looking like Fantasy Realms is on the cusp, but you are tuning a hand of cards and there is kind of a shared pool that people take from. So I give like honorary mention for drafting. But I think what I will say about drafting is you can do the stuff of the game pretty easily. So you can take a card from a hand. Like anyone can do that. But doing it in such a way that you actually understand what's going on is definitely several levels of difficulty. I think why I enjoy it so much, because it's just like drafting in Magic the Gathering is incredibly complex, probably the most complex drafting scenario that you can have. But once you kind of understand what's going on, it can be very satisfying.
Everyone, you can't see her, but my puppy is right here next to me, and I think she was feeling the FOMO of everybody sharing their photos on stream. So SB is here, but she's just looking at me with her puppy eyes, like, "Hey, everyone wants to be on camera. Why not me?
Why
Yep.
not me?
Why not me?"
Yep, indeed.
All right, is it my go?
I thought that was yours, right?
Okay, I don't remember. Joe, back to you.
All right, back to me. So, Emma, being a designer yourself, do you have a favorite designer?
Oh,
That's like a catch-22
Oh,
because if
wow.
you say someone and then you don't say someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always just go for like the big guns. You could just throw out. You just be like Rainer Knizia
Right.
or Wolfgang Kramer.
But
You
then,
know,
like, Eric Lang's gonna look at you like,
Oh my god, I
Emma.
know, right? Like next time we hang out at a convention.
I
It's gonna be
know.
like, really?
Or Daryl Andrews
Really?
like, what? No, Daryl.
I know so many designers.
Yeah.
So I will throw out just a few.
Yeah, go
Few
for it. Doesn't have to just be
names.
one.
Not my favorite. I'm not ranking. So anyone
Yeah.
who's not mentioned, I probably just forgot to mention you. And no bad feels. But you mentioned Tatewu, and Tatewu actually has made a lot of games that I really enjoy. And I like to shout out Tatewu for slightly lesser known, I think, as a designer. Makes a lot of cat games. So, and I love cats, obviously. So I've had a lot of fun with the Cleopatra was a really good one. And Cat Rescue, right? Yes, also a good one. The Cat Sudoku. Cat Sudoku. But yeah, just like very nice, kind of like Oink games with like a small box game that just does some really fun, interesting stuff and really great art and a lot of creativity. But also Phil Walker Harding, you know, we mentioned Sushi Go, but the Super Mega Lucky Box is another one of my recent favorites.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Phil Walker Harding is definitely designing a lot of stuff in the space that I enjoy playing, but also I'm like, oh, you're really nailing this like simple, accessible game that I also want to succeed at. So yeah.
Didn't he do Planted in Target exclusive right now?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's his too.
Yeah, with Buffalo Games. So if you haven't checked that out. Oh, and he just did a Tetris game.
Oh yeah.
That I just saw online. Yeah, that I haven't had a chance to play yet, but would
Yeah,
very
we just
much
played it.
need to.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thumbs up.
It's good, but there's some like they want the stickers for the icons to be on the back, so when you put in the pieces, it covers the sticker. Then you have to kind of flip to remember how many of those you've gotten, and then you have to like it's a little bit awkward because the stickers are clear, so sometimes you don't see the stickers, and it just needs new stickers that are like white backed or something.
Yeah, but the concept is there.
Yeah.
I do wish there was a mechanic. So I'm sure for everybody that's played Tetris in their life, you always wait till that like very last second, and then you go scroll. So like wedge
underneath. Yeah.
You cannot do that in this game because once it falls, it falls.
Yeah.
I will say that's my only beef of it because that's how I got like to be expert in Tetris. It was like just that perfect timing of it, and then scroll to the side.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I haven't made an IP game yet, and I was working on one that was going to potentially be an IP game, also for Buffalo Games. Didn't end up working out, but yeah, how you make a game that somehow captures the IP and how people react to what is in there or what is excluded from there. There's a lot. It seems like a lot of work and potential for people loving it or being mad at the choices that you made.
No, yeah, like
it was still fun.
It was really fun. But like I play tested some IPs and it's like, oh, did that make me feel like I was like a Transformer or I was in My Little Pony Village? You know, it's like meh, you know. Yeah. But sometimes it has to be that way, you know. And sometimes it's like not. You can't make what the game is supposed to be with that IP, but I don't know. If you just ignore the IP, the game is good no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And then you fantasize how you're going to be.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I just thought of one.
Sure.
Does everyone have a favorite IP game or an IP game that they feel really captured some element that they thought that it worked?
Ooh, I gotta look at the shelves now.
Star Trek Panic.
Oh,
really made me feel like I was in the Enterprise going after Klingons. They were hitting us. We were damaged. We couldn't like get the engineers to get to the right places to, fix the damage. And then we were overrun and we had to run away or we had to fly to the base and stuff. Yeah, that was really good. The only thing is it's out of print.
Is it a re-implementation of Castle Panic?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Nice.
It's very fun, and it does feel like a Star Trek game. You're not exploring places, but it's that space fight, part of the So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me the op nailed the Cuphead fast rolling dice game because you just
Really?
get so like you're so, in that,
Abby.
For better or worse.
I love that reaction. So there's an app that goes along with the game, and it's a timer, and you're rolling dice against this timer to get a specific, set of icons on your dice, and if you don't, you take like a bunch of damage and you die. It's just like in the actual game, 3 hits and you're done. I think the op nailed that mechanism into translation from screen to paper.
So it's stressful, just like the game.
Yeah, it really is. I love it. It's one of my favorite games.
I think for me, it would, along the lines of Star Trek, but it was that VHS game that we had played at one point, Joe. I think.
Oh yeah, it was from like
know if it was-
1992, a Klingon challenge. Yeah.
It was so immersive. Like, I was into it, and I bet you if I would have had like one more alcoholic beverage, I probably would have been convinced that like there was Klingons knocking on the door type thing. But also, I think the Mega Man game that we have, I think it's really good. Except for
Mega Man's good. Yeah.
it gets especially the feeling of like I'm bad at Mega Man, and like you definitely have to keep repeating stuff over and over trying to get better, and it nailed that feeling for me, but it was actually really fun still.
I will say for mine, it would have to be Battlestar Galactica. Just because of the progression, the way the game goes on through the storyline and also through your set scenario that you're working with. You're like, okay, I'm actually playing this as if I was, a part of one of the ships and stuff. So James Brazil says TMNT Shadows of the Past. He likes that one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
The way the edge dice help your teammates left to right, so teamwork via dice placement is great.
That sounds fun.
Very cool. Very
Like
cool.
that. I would say the small world of Warcraft.
Oh,
okay.
I want to play that one. It had
Yeah,
pandas
actually-
in it.
As someone who's played quite a bit of Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and Warcraft, I did feel like it did kind of get the vibe of the game, so it's fun.
That's awesome. I think it's Abby's turn.
It is.
I think it is.
What is one piece of advice you give to someone just starting out?
With designing games?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. One piece. Can it be like a 300-page book?
Yes.
Here, one
I would love
piece.
it if you wrote that. We would buy that.
Oh, gosh.
And make it alliterative title.
Yep.
Too.
Oh,
yeah.
Every
yeah.
chapter.
Designer's diary. There you
No,
go.
it's got to
perfect.
be Emma's exclusive encyclopedia. I don't know. Whatever. For everyone.
There you go. There you go.
Encyclogamey designy. You gotta workshop that a little bit.
The name needs work.
Yeah. Fail faster. Good name, but take it. Unfortunately. Gosh, yeah. I was just at Shucks. I did a couple of panels, and there was a lot of new designers. I'm always blown away by. I feel like those are some of the most attended panels that I do. Are ones where game designers are talking about being game designers, and it makes me so happy just to see how many people out there either just thinking about designing games or have already started designing games and have some questions, and also the variety of people at these panels. I think historically game designers have been pretty similar, but if you go to these panels you'll see all sorts of people who want to get into it, which makes me very happy. And I think one of the questions people ask is like, they keep trying to dig deeper of how you get started. It's like, how do you make a game? It's like, well, you can write some stuff on cards and have some mechanics and just start messing around with stuff. They're like, yeah, but how do you do that? If I'm not even ready to get to that step, how do I even take it one step? Because some people kind of just fall into it and start doing it, understand it. But some people have an idea, like the what was the one that we just, the galoshes?
Yeah.
The
Gummy
bear galoshes. Yeah,
Gummy bear galoshes.
we just ideated that. So somebody might have that, right? It's like, okay, I got gummy bear galoshes, and how do I make that into a game? And even just saying like, oh, well, just make it a card game and write some things on cards. Even that can be too much for people. So what I like to say is start by modifying games, even something as simple as Monopoly or Sorry. Really go back to classic games with very, very Candyland, right? So it's like, okay, it's a Gummy Bear Galoshes game and Candyland. How to just go to a thrift store or whatever, go to Target for like $10, you get a copy of Candyland, just take it out. And just draw gummy bears on the cards instead of the colors. It's like, oh, what if every space was a color of gummy bear, and then I had a bag of gummy bears and I like pulled out actual gummy bears to move down the track instead of the cards in the deck that you have for movement in Candyland. And that, if you had done that, you would have made a game. I mean, it would be very similar to an existing game. If you're trying to pitch or sell that game, you would definitely have some trouble, but you have done the thing of making a game. And I think most board game designers do start out by making changes to existing games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's easy to start from something that exists and modify it a little bit than just trying to leap out into the void.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah. That's good because like I know there's a designer that's writing a book, and basically it's what you just said, where they take a game that people know like poker or Go Fish, and then have you change one thing about it or add one thing, and then by the end of the book you've made like 12 games.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
For my question, is there like a grail thing as a designer? Is there a grail publisher you want to get a game in? Is there like you want your games in a certain store? You want to have like a sell of a certain number of games? Like, is there a goal that's like further down the road for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot of goals. Like I'm working with a bunch of great publishers now. I'd love to do more games with those publishers or work with new publishers. One publisher who I think I would like to work with would be Haba. I think it would be really cool to make a Haba game, and every Haba game I've played is just perfect for what it is. So I think if I got to a point to create something, usually mostly in the kids space, or like they do stuff for very young kids, like First Orchard, and then stuff for slightly older kids. What was the one that I had played? The Dragon's Breath. Yes. I had a 3-year-old teach me this game. And so it was a 3-year-old and 3 other adults. And after we played, we're like, can we play again? That was actually super fun. For those of you who haven't seen or played it, there's these little plastic rings in a stack, and then all these plastic gems that are kind of held in, and you take rings off the top, and you try and guess what color is going to fall out the most by drafting one of the gem color cards. And then there's holes in the board, so some of the gems fall out. So it's got a little bit of luck factor to it as well. But that's basically the whole thing. It's so simple, that a 3-year-old can teach it and play it, but so tight. So yeah, I just want to make even more games that are easy for lots of different people to play. And I think if I made a hobby game, then that would be something lots of people could play and really enjoy.
That's really cool.
I do know for a lot of hobby games, they really like to incorporate the game box.
Oh yeah, that for Dragon's Breath. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so if you could design a game with them, Emma, that has some sort of mechanic with the game box, that's also another like high-end like point for like selling point for especially for parents. I remember when I was working at some of the convention scene for Habba last year, that was one of the selling points, was just like, and look, you're pulling out all these gems and you think it's going to make a big mess, but actually if it falls in down the hole, it's actually inside the game box. And so when you're done, you basically just take your dragons, put them inside and close the box top and you're done. So they're like, wait, I don't have to like, there's not going to be like Candyland cards scattered all over the place. It's like, no, actually that's not. It's here's the box and boom, you're done. And they're like, sold, take my money.
Although like James had mentioned, there are some like Rhino Hero that get a little messy, but not that messy. It's just cards to pick up. So
yeah. James also asked, do you love astronomy, Emma, or what inspired you for your upcoming Starry Night Skies game?
I don't think I'm involved enough in the scene to say that I like astronomy. I love the night sky. I like the idea of constellations. I think when I first realized constellations were a thing and you have the book and it's got the lines between it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a lion in the sky. That's so cool. And then you look up the actual sky and you're like, what? I don't see the lion. And that's a little bit not disappointing exactly, but it's like I was sold a bill of goods. Except for the Big Dipper. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got the Big Dipper. Or maybe it's the Little Dipper. I don't know. One of the Dippers. I'm like, that is definitely probably a Dipper. But the publisher I'm working with, Buffalo Games, they were actually interested in a star-themed or night sky-themed game. And so this was a theme-first design, which was really interesting because I kind of threw a lot of different mechanics at them. It was a dexterity game at one point. You're like flicking the stars and they were like spinning. And you're trying to like land it on a space on the board. And it didn't really work at all. So I kept, but from there I went to a prototype that just had one spinning piece in the middle and it would point to different sections. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to choose which section. So it continually evolved into what it is now. But I do really like mythology. And for this game, I kind of invented my own mythology. So that also was very fun and very satisfying to do.
That's awesome. I play tested it, so I'm like very excited.
Nice
to see. Yeah.
Yep, and I got to see you demo it many times at Shucks, and I too am very interested in the game.
It's so shiny.
I know, it's so pretty.
It was funny. I think it was Gen Con. I literally sent Joe a message and I'm like, go see Emma. And he's like, what? For what? And I'm like, that box is so pretty. And he's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got Emily coming.
Yay!
Welcome
Hello.
in, readers. Welcome to Community Connections. I'm Jess. I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Joe, Abby, and Amanda Panda here. We are talking with the wonderful game designer, Emma Larkins.
Yay!
You might know her from games like Abandon All Artichokes, and Then We Died, and the upcoming one, Starry Night Sky. Thank you so much for the shout-outs there, Phantom. And if you all are interested in hanging out with us, we're just doing a cool little fireside chat for the next hour or so. But Rock, let us know what you were playing last and how you're doing, my friend. I hope your Monday went well. So yeah, thank you so much, Raiders, for stopping in and saying hi. All right, Panda, I think it's back to you.
I thought it was your turn because
Me.
I did mine.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's your turn,
Okay.
Jess.
My turn. Okay. Emma, what is your motivation that keeps you going with game design?
Ooh. Keep coming with the hard hits. Half that it's my job. So I've been a full-time board game designer for a few years now. Although that this is different than other full-time jobs. It's not exactly a 9 to 5. And definitely the last few years over the pandemic have been a little bit different. But yeah, so trying to bring in the bucks is part of it. But I say the other part, and what really struck me demoing a new game again at Shucks, and demoing Starry Night Sky for the first time, was just triggering that moment in people where that aha moment. So when you teach someone a new game, and imagine if you've designed a game or if you have a game that you just really love, you're showing to someone new for the first time, and maybe they're not a super gamer or something, and so you're not sure it's going to work out, and they start doing stuff and they're kind of unsure, like, okay, you're like, okay, now put this over here, and they're like, okay. And then they'll say something like, oh, but then I can go over here. And you're like, yeah. And like, oh, and then I get this thing. You're like, yeah, you get this thing. You're like, oh, and then I can do these 2 things. And all of a sudden you can see the wheels turning in their head, and you've both taught someone something, but it's it's kind of a little weird in a way, because you've both set up the obstacles in the way of them achieving what they want to achieve, but also provided them the path through those obstacles. So you're the teacher and also the path, which is really weird and and very satisfying too, to kind of, you do all these things and you've created an experience. So it's all wrapped up in an experience, something that they're doing with other people, and they're doing it at Shucks. So they're just like having a good time. So all those kind of things coming together. It's a very special and unique feeling.
Do you have a teaching background at all? Because that's like one of the things that teachers love too, is when they see that light bulb turn on in their students and stuff like that.
I don't. I'm like, it's weird because I don't have like a tradition, like I was a teacher of students or of kids or anything, but I've like kind of looking back now that you mentioned it, I'm like, but I've always like worked at conventions or like showed people how to play games. I've always been a little bit of a child whisperer, which sounds weird, but it's like I attract children, like this like childlike mind, and just like playing and interacting with them, and I think it is that kind of teaching, learning thing. So yeah, I think it's a very similar vibe.
Are you an auntie in any way, Emma?
To like nieces, nephews,
Yeah,
etc. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I have 3 very, very wonderful nephews.
Because I could definitely resonate with like the auntie vibes, like
Yeah.
like my own nieces and nephews, but then also with like other people's kids. It's just like, woo, Auntie Jess is so awesome because she teaches me board games. Like I could feel like you would also have that kind of moment of like, Aunt Emma taught me this game and she learned it from a 3-year-old, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, one of our nephews is very direct. He says exactly what he's thinking. And he's like, to me and my husband, he's like, you're like not really adults. He's like 13 or something. It's like, you're like adults, but like fun. And I think part of that is like, once you become a parent, you have a lot of stuff going on, and it's hard to kind of have that. And we don't have kids yet, so we still have the youthful energy. Yeah, exactly. So it's easy to be fun when you're the aunt or the uncle. But yeah.
All right, let's see. We got a question in chat from James Brazil. When is your game releasing, Starry Night Sky?
2023, probably early 2023. We don't have a release date yet. So that's all I know, is that it's coming early next year.
All right, awesome. So there you go,
hopefully
James.
this
Be on the lookout for it.
That's a good
Oh,
So,
but it is you can wish list it on BGG. It does have a BGG page, and if you go to Buffalo Games / Starry Night Sky, there's an email sign up. So there are ways to put it in your brain for future stuff.
And it's not going to crowdfunding, right? It's just going straight to retail.
Yeah, straight to retail.
Fantastic. So getting back to your one piece of advice question, if you could redesign a game, what would it be?
Oh. Redesign a game because I thought it was
Something you
didn't
didn't
work
like, or maybe you
as-
wanted to improve it, or whatever reason you come up with. What would it be?
I will answer this. I don't want to throw any shade or to have anyone think that I'm throwing shade.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No shade intended.
Yeah. I don't get in trouble for this, but just because it's on the tip of my mind because I played it last night. But I finally played Mountains of Madness, and I hope I don't offend anyone here either. And I had heard about it a long time ago, and about the conceit of it was really cool because you have, it's a cooperative real-time communication game where you have to communicate with each other for the resources that you put down, but all the resources are put down face down, and you're doing it timed, but there are the madness cards that interfere with your ability to communicate with each other. So all of that cooperative, real-time, weird things that you have to do while you're communicating all sounds really fun and really interesting. And I think if it was more in the realm of a party game, it would be, I don't want to say better. I would find it a lot more fun. But as designed, there's a lot of stuff going on, and the movement is it's hard to know. The decision space is almost a little too open because it's hard. You're going up the mountain, and it's hard to know, should I stay down here? Should I go up faster? I feel kind of uncertain, but not in a good way. Like if there's a little more direction to it. And then there's kind of a lot going on with like the injury cards, and there's a dice that you roll, and there's different specimens that you get that have negative effects. The teach to it was also very long because there's just all these kind of sub rules to it and all these components. So very cool concept. Looking at the reviews, I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. So not to say you shouldn't try it or it's not necessarily a great game, but for me personally, I would have changed a few things for my personal
That's
enjoyment.
fair. That's totally fair. And once again, we have another raid.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
Welcome in. Thank you for the raid, Bonds. Much appreciated.
Yeah. What were you all doing tonight on stream? I think you were playing Delicious.
Ooh,
And
yes.
Delicious is a fantastic game.
If you're not already following Jess, please follow Jess. And there is a 10-minute wait. But yeah, please hit that follow button. Hi, Meeple. Meeple Conrad
Ooh.
says, playing Delicious. Yes.
Yes. And I just so happen to have it right here because we just recently played it on stream too.
Yes.
So yeah, welcome in. For those that don't know, my name is Jess. I do tabletop board gaming streams here 3 times a week. Monday evenings is usually a nice cozy chat where we do some little interviews and Q&A with some lovely folks in the industry, like the wonderful game designer here, Emma Larkins. You might know her from games such as Abandon All Artichokes and Then We Died, and the upcoming Starry Night Sky, going to be published by Buffalo Games. And I have my wonderful co-host here above me, Joe and Abby, aka the House of Meeple.
Hey.
And our guest host tonight, Amanda Panda, is here. So we just have a full house of friends. And now you all are invited into this full house of friends. So get cozy, hang out with us for the next little bit. I appreciate you all, but we all do tabletop board gaming things in social media and on Twitch and in real life, and so I'm just going to cover everybody's bases and say that.
Yep.
Because we're in just a lovely conversation.
That works.
So yeah, please give us all the follows, all the chat and everything. You will see our links there. But yes, welcome in everybody. I enjoy all of you stopping in, and thank you, Bonds. We love you. We hope you had a fantastic stream tonight.
Yes.
Delicious sounds fun. I don't know anything about that.
A rolling right?
Are you familiar, Emma, with like herbaceous and floriferous?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so same size box.
Yeah.
But this is a flip and fill where
Okay.
you are gardening, basically.
Ooh.
So you flip over a couple cards. There's like tools and fruit that you're gonna draw. They actually give you a description, like design step by step of like how to draw all the veggies. So you don't feel like you have to have an art degree in order to play this game.
Oh, that's really clever. I
And-
like that. Yeah.
For the first time ever, you get a pencil first pencil,
Yes, there are pencils inside the game.
Nice.
and
Yes,
you
come
get
with it.
a left-handed pencil first pencil.
Yes, because Eduardo Baroff, one of the designers of this game, is a left-handed writer, and so he made the intention of getting the logo of Pencil First printed on one of the pencils so that when left-handed people write with it, they can actually read it and it's not upside down.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Genius. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and so this is a super quick game, Emma. I will say I taught my mom in like 15 minutes how to play it, and we knocked it out in under an hour.
Nice.
So definitely recommend playing that one, picking it up and playing it. And
But,
yes,
like,
I
yeah.
will agree, Bonds.
Jessica.
Jessica from Pencil First is a shark.
Is a shark. She really is. Like, I cannot win against her for a pencil first game. Legend says, "Whoa, I'm left-handed." Yes, you get a
Oh, that's
left-handed
cool.
pencil.
There you
Yeah.
go. Get that left-handed pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Quick, small box, food themed, I assume.
Yes.
Yes.
And plants, like hitting all my boxes here.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you ever seen any art designed by Clementine Campardu, it's gorgeous.
All watercolor art. It's
Yeah.
like, individual pieces. So good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I think it's Abby's turn.
Yep, Abby, question
Oh.
to you, and I should probably get into costume. So, Abby, go for it.
So
Oh, we didn't tell you, Emma. There's a costume
There is a
change
costume change,
Oh.
yeah.
on this stream too.
So I totally got distracted with these like costume change.
You're asking a question.
Yes. So real serious with your Yeti pants, though. Like
Yeah.
It makes the outfit.
it does.
Yeah.
I agree.
Is there a like game type or mechanic that you like do not find yourself drawn to as a player, or like is there a type that if it hits the table you are like, I have to go to the bathroom for the next half an hour type situation?
Yes, very much so. I struggle with perfect information abstract games.
Hmm.
So anything that's like
Oh.
chess or was insert is one that I had played recently. Onitama a little bit, but that has some randomness to it. Like Onitama's not bad. Hive, I think, is another one that where you can kind of see. Basically, you can see ahead of time, like 6 or 7 turns, whether you have lost the game and you still have to play out the game.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to the competitiveness, and often if someone brings out one of these games, it is because they're more experienced with it, and these types of games are very punishing to new players. A more experienced player will almost always win over a less experienced player, which is fine. It's not all about winning, but it can be a little bit of a struggle where you just like, oh, you're kind of learning the game and they're 10 steps ahead of you and just like drawing circles around you. I have come around a little bit recently. I had mentioned Insert, which I played on BGA, and that was one. If they're fast enough, it's okay. Like insert is like 5 minutes if you play quickly on BGA. So it's really not that, or like 10 turns back and forth. It's the ones that really get kind of long and drawn out that I'm less of a fan of. And these days, the ones that are being designed are usually quicker. But yeah, definitely not my favorite kind of game.
So follow up, is there a theme that you don't gravitate towards to, or that you don't want to play?
The Cthulhu, the coming back to Mountains of Madness. Like, I think that was an additional thing that I also wasn't a huge fan of the theme. So I just like, I don't get it. People really like, and if anyone loves it, that's good. And I know no shade or anything. I just don't know why people are so obsessed with it. But it pops up a lot too.
Mhm.
You know, like there's a lot of games that are Cthulhu based or Lovecraftian horror. I guess I'm not into horror as well much, so that probably contributes.
Yeah, I can't watch horror like movies or anything like that. Yeah, gory.
Yeah, not a fan. Although I did watch Werewolf by Night, which is a new Marvel short. Not a short; it's like an hour on Disney Plus, and it was in black and white, which made some of the more gory scenes less gory, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, I don't like horror, and I'm very easily scared, and I enjoyed it. So,
okay.
Not
Then I'll
to
watch
say,
it.
Don't take my word for it and come back. It's like, oh my gosh, I hate you. But it was fun. It was fun. So that's
I have found too with like the horror genre, Emma, that I tend I don't like, jump scares, anything like that, the extra gore. But I will say some of the like older movies from like Italian horror, where it's all of the black and white and it's like the suspense where they draw it out with the music. Those I find intriguing for the artistic design, and like the camera angles and stuff too. But it's like I can't watch Texas Chainsaw. I can't watch any of those things. And so I am right there up there with you, but I've like learned now, I'm like, okay, if it's something that's made from like the 1940s in like France or Italy, like I can watch it because one, it's in black and white, and two, sometimes it's just so over the top that it's just these like terrible special effects that they did.
Yeah.
That they like popped a balloon and then like stuff squirted out,
I was more in line with camp, and it just felt I love Halloween though, and it felt very in the vibe of Halloween. I would describe like some, if like mild spoilers here, but nothing really. Like if I was to say specifically, there is some like blood and mild gore, I would say, but it also has a happy ending. So I think those are kind of the things that people, if I had to put like the keywords in there for things that people would be bothered by or be happy about.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, I'll watch it.
And if you have Disney Plus, it's just a fun thing to watch for Halloween.
Yeah, and then you could just watch Hocus Pocus after that.
Yes.
I watched the two. I watched the new one.
Yes. I was like, you still have to watch one, Joe.
I love one and two.
I do still need to watch one. I know.
Oh, no.
I know, right? Emma, me too. We're like, how did you not see the first one yet?
I know. Gosh. Shame on me. I know.
Hey, you can now do a marathon because now there's two Hocus Pocus movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Can we squeeze in one more question before we throw it off to
I think we can squeeze. I think we can squeeze in one more.
Sir James, aka Phantom Lipton.
Sir Joseph Lipton.
I like that, Sir Phantom Lipton. I'm using that.
Very nice.
All right, Abby, what you got, my dear?
Oh, that was my question.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Emma, horizontal, vertical, or if it fits, it sits.
Oh dear.
Vertical.
Okay.
Right, horizontal is like this.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right, vertical. Yes, I got big into Marie Kondo, aka Con Marie, and that's one of the big things is vertical storage because, as Marie Kondo puts it, if you stack things. Again, no shade to anyone who does this. If you stack things horizontally, like shirts, for example, then the ones on the bottom get squished and sad. And they are
And forgotten.
I know it is kind of sad, but it's like they're sad and forgotten, and it actually like is bad for their spirit if you think that things have personalities. So vertical makes them.
I've had
happier.
boxes sent in because I put a small box
Yeah.
on top of a bigger box, and then you put weight on top of it, and then it dents the lids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go.
All right, we now know.
So
Phantom
now
Lipton.
we are ready to Sir Phantom Lipton.
See, it just improves with every stream. Like we're still working on Inside the Board Gamer Studio, but Sir
We're getting
Phantom
there.
Lipton, I'm keeping that. I'm totally
Oh,
keeping it.
Someone should make a transition that, like.
Well, we talked about it where
inside
Abby and I are
Phantom
just gonna like
Studio.
turn off our lights.
we're just
and
gonna
just like
disappear.
leave Joe in the brightness,
Ooh.
so we're actually like inside a
You need
studio.
a spotlight happening.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did say we're gonna dim the lights, so let me dim the lights.
Yes. Work in progress, everybody.
Yes.
We're work in progress
Behind,
here.
behind the scenes,
There-
dimming the
If
lights.
you wanted to see Joe's Yeti pants,
Oh,
there they
yeah,
are.
there they
again.
That's my
Okay.
Yeti pants in their
match.
full glory.
Yeti pants.
All right, there we go. I've dimmed the lights now. We've got the mood. We're all set. Such fun times. All right, Emma, my dear, are you ready for the Sir Phantom Lipton questionnaire?
All right, sure. Hit me.
Okay, here we go. What is your favorite board game?
Oh God. Okay. I answer generically with Fantasy Realms because I don't have a favorite, but if I did have a favorite, it would be Fantasy Realms.
Okay. What is your least favorite board game?
Oh.
Yeah, this is
geez.
the hard one.
Oh gosh. Like
No, there's another one. No.
least favorite of all time. Oh my gosh. I've had I've had so many bad experiences. They're not bad, but just things that. Oh gosh, I don't want to offend anyone either. I don't know if I can answer that. Can I come back?
Yeah,
There's
you
no
can-
right
you
or
can-
wrong answer, Emma.
Yep, there's no right or wrong answers. You can pass if you want to. No pressure.
I'll pass on that. I might come back to it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we can come back to it. All right, what board game makes you feel the most happy?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think Cat Rescue. Yeah, it's got a great vibe to it.
Do you
Rescue all those cats.
Do you have the card-shaped one, or do you have the newer version with the square-shaped cards?
Square cards.
Okay. With the cutout cats on the box? Yeah.
Yes. Everything, the design of it, the cute cats, you're rescuing the cats, and any cats that you don't rescue, it's not like they're unrescued. It's just, oh, well, next time you play, you're gonna rescue more of the cats. So everything about it is just very joy-inducing.
Okay. What board game makes you feel the most sad?
Oh, sad.
This one's hard.
That is tough. I think I'm going to go slightly sideways for a CCG and say Magic the Gathering. Not that I don't also love it, but I've definitely had some frustrated flip the table moments in that game.
Fair enough. Okay, what board game components do you love?
Dice.
What board game components do you dislike?
Dislike. Not a specific component, but I would say like cardboard tokens or things that are kind of like cheap or they don't punch out well, so they just or they get bent easily, so they're not very pleasant or easy to use.
All right. What board game is so bad that its name should become a curse word?
What a question.
What board game is so bad? Gosh. I feel like I need to go into my mind chamber and like sit with myself for a few days. I wish I had my board game, like my shelf in here so I could like look at it, but then I would be like, oh, but I wouldn't keep a game that was like that. So bad that it should be a curse name. Ah, gosh. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head.
All right, you can come back to it.
Yeah.
All right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh. Some sort of rock star. Yeah, definitely.
All right. What profession would you not like to do?
The the ones who scoop the night soil.
That's a great answer.
Joe gets it.
Oh.
That is a great answer. I love that.
Oh, wait. Can I do a quick follow-up question?
Sure, go for it, Amanda.
What is it about being a rock star? Like, because technically, if you go to a board game convention, you could be mobbed like a rock star. You could we could throw you on stage and be like,
Yep,
"Here's
that's a good point."
Emma Larkins," that all that stuff. So what is it that you specifically want out of it?
I like being an entertainer. I think being a board game designer is a way to be an entertainer and to bring people happiness, sadness, as you mentioned, and just entertainment. But there's kind of layers to it. So like a board game, you make the board game and you manufacture it and you ship it to it, and then people learn it from the rules. So it's kind of a process. Whereas something like a rock star or a singer, performer, you're just there. And it happens in the blink of an eye, like whether the person is entertained or not. Like you say something, so the feedback is instantaneous. You make a board game, it could be months or years before someone consumes that content. Whereas if you're a rock star, some people are right there in real time, which is very cool.
That's awesome.
All right. And to end the questionnaire, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Gosh, what can I say that's not going to be offensive? Something along the lines of like, oops, or my bad, because of like all the bad stuff and suffering in the world.
Oh.
I don't know if that's where you're going with that, but I was like, that's where my mind went.
There's no right or wrong answer. If that's what you want God to say, then that's what God's gonna say.
Yeah, like come on, man.
At first, I was like, my bad about something that happened to you or something. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
My first thought was my bad, like wrong person. Like, oh, my
bad.
That's an interesting answer.
Oh, that's hysterical. All right, well, that's the questionnaire. Unless you want to go back to the two questions you skipped, you've done swimmingly, my dear.
Thanks. I think I need a rain check for those because I like
fair. That's totally fair, Emma.
I think, gosh, just my memory these days too. I'm sure if I sat down for half an hour and just dug through, I would be like, oh my gosh, yeah, this game that I played, and it was the worst. Gosh, and it feels like on the tip, I was like, I can remember playing a game with a bunch of designers, and then we finished it, and we're like, that was so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I can't remember what else? Also, like, I know, or I've met so many of the designers of the games I've played that I would feel bad. I'd have to find one that, like, the designer has passed away, or someone I don't mind offending. I'd have to, like, look up their social media and see if they're racist or sexist or something. And so, yeah, it would be a process. have me back in a month or two, and maybe I'll have an answer.
Okay.
You've got it, Emma. You're always welcome back to the stream.
Yay.
Yeah, and welcome in the missing lint. I think we're about wrapping up here for our community connections, unless any of my co-hosts want to ask Emma any more questions.
I mean,
I did have one more, unless anybody else has one.
oh, I mean, I did too. But you can go
Oh,
first.
well,
Abby, go for it.
Oh,
Give us some
Encore.
time.
I was just gonna ask. I know you'd mentioned Shucks. What other conventions are on your schedule?
Not sure yet. I've definitely been keeping an ear out for which conventions are taking good precautions. I know PAX Unplugged is doing a lot to I think it's they're still requiring masks, so that's definitely one that I haven't signed up for yet, but I'm thinking about. But that's all I got right now. I try not to think too far ahead because it's a lot.
All right, Joe, what you got?
All right. So we didn't ask this one yet, but this is another good question. Do you think the terms board game and tabletop are separate, or they're becoming interchangeable?
Ooh. I think that they are both need workshopping, and I would love if we had a broader, more shared lexicon, because especially talking to non-gamers, I have a lot of trouble having these conversations because, for example, I say that I am a board game designer, and everything that I designed before Starry Night Sky, yes, has been a card game. So if I say I'm a board game designer and then I bring out my game, it's Abandon All Artichokes, they're like, oh, there's no board here. Which, as hobbyists, you know, we kind of understand, like, oh, a board game, it could just be cards or whatever, but it is confusing to people. But card game is more likely to be associated with something like poker. So there's kind of weird in-between space. And then tabletop could be like, is a little more commonly associated with like role-playing games. And also, if you tell a non-gamer, if you say tabletop games, they're even less likely to understand that than board games. So, yeah, I don't know. They're pretty specific in what they mean, but they kind of mean different things to different people. So, yeah, language is tough.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was about to say that totally makes sense, because I always thought it was strange that, you know, Will Wheaton called his YouTube show Tabletop when you know, it was all board games. So I think that that might have kind of started the whole debate. I don't quote me on that, but I'm sure it didn't help.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. One's very flippant, so I'll start with the good one, the real one. What's your favorite food? Like, what would you be able to eat every day for the rest of your life?
Tacos.
I think Panda's saying she's kind of hungry. That's why she's asking.
Maybe.
There's the flippant part.
Yeah.
No, that's not the flippant one. Hold on. Go ahead.
What I also ate earlier today, tacos.
Although there's so many, yeah.
Tacos is kind of a cheating answer because you can have lots of different types of tacos. You know, carnitas taco. You can have an al pastor taco.
Oh, so good.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to Lee's Taco Truck in LA? Best al pastor. Yeah.
I want to go to there. But I also just like your basic gringo taco. So that's usually... Yeah, just like lettuce, cheese, the Taco Bell taco or whatever. Yeah. Either from Taco Bell or just making it at home. it's got all the food groups in it, right? So you just I feel like you'd also be reasonably healthy if you ate that for the rest of your life.
That's true. So the flippant question is a hot dog a sandwich? And if a hot dog is a sandwich, wouldn't a taco be technically a sandwich?
All right,
a hot dog could be a taco.
I don't know if you're welcome back here.
No. This, I ascribe to the cube theory of sandwiches. I don't know anyone else cube theory. The cube theory postulates that the type of what it is determined by how many surfaces, if you were to picture the food as a cube, how many surfaces are covered by bread. So sandwich, top and bottom. So that's 2 sides that are covered with bread. So anything that falls into that definition is a sandwich. Hot dog, 3 sides are covered by bread. So a hot dog is not a sandwich, but a hot dog is a taco. What's weird about the cube theory is depending on how you slice the food can change definitionally what it is. So if you have a burrito, 6 sides, right? Covered on all 6 sides. But if you cut it in half, then it's only 5 sides are covered. So it becomes more akin to like a soup in a bread bowl.
Oh my goodness.
Or a
Cube
pie
theory.
without a
I'm
top.
all here for it.
Mind blown.
Thank you, Emma. I think we have just put the kibosh on the hot dog sandwich
So
debate.
I was right. A taco is a hot dog, and a hot dog is a taco, though.
Yeah.
Because people are like, no.
Yeah.
That's,
Although it's like when I make the gringo tacos at home, I take a tortilla and I wrap it all the way around. So that's 4 sides covering it. So it's
with
not
open ends. You don't close at least one end.
No, my husband always makes fun of me, but I'm like, I grew up doing this. It's like a weird. I've always done it this way. I can't start covering up the end now. It would just not be right.
Oh, pizza blanket would be Emma's tacos,
would be
where it's
the
wrapped
taco
on 4 sides.
Yeah. The cube theory is very attractive. Like if you play Magic the Gathering, there's always an answer, right? You might have to go through a 20-page explanation about why this answer is the answer. But the people who like that also like the cube theory. So you might have to go through this whole thing, and by the time you get to what it is, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Then there's like a salad or a soup, which isn't covered on any of the sides, but might have some bread-like substance inside of it. So it's like a 0 side.
Oh, because croutons are bread inside a salad.
Yeah. So it doesn't count as being covered, or like an open face, like a toast, like an avocado toast is 1 side. Should be like a.
So would nachos be an avocado toast? Because technically, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, nachos is a toast. You get into some really weird, like this thing is this other thing. But
that's awesome. I love that.
Jeez.
I told you it was a flippin' answer.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Oh, cannolis. That's what it is. A pig in a blanket is a cannoli.
Pigs in a blanket is a cannoli.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Emma's tacos become cannolis. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's everything.
All right.
I think so.
I think we put the nail in the coffin in this conversation. Or I'm doing it. So as we wrap up here, Emma, why don't you let everyone know what you've got coming up from you as far as Starry Night Sky, any other upcoming games or things that you would like to share for folks to check out from you?
Yeah. So I'll show my game one more time. Starry Night Sky is coming early next year. It has a BGG page, so you can wish list it on BGG, or write notes, or there's an email list. The link was posted in the chat earlier. Also, always happy to promote Abandon All Artichokes. I love this game. I play it a lot on Board Game Arena. So if you haven't played it and you're looking to try it, definitely hop on there. You might play against me, and if you see an Emma Larkins, it is me. I am the designer. I don't always win either. Like there's enough luck and I always try different strategies. People are like, oh, you're always going to win your game. But that's a lie. Designers don't always win their games. So definitely check it out either in stores or on Board Game Arena.
We have Maddie Loaf.
Awesome. Yeah, my cat, my other floof, is now also making an appearance, but now she's walked away.
Oh.
She is done. She has had her 3 seconds of fame last week, so she's like, I am done with camera
many.
time. All right, Panda, where can folks find you?
So my next stream is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right?
Tomorrow is
Tomorrow is
Tuesday.
At
Tuesday.
3 p.m. Pacific, me, Phantom Meeple, and Jess are going to play like Gone Song Clever, and you can play with us. And then now, after we're done with that game, Abby will be joining us for a game of Kanban, and then we're gonna finish the game of Kanban. We're gonna go raid into Phantom's channel and actually finish the game on his channel. So it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. So yeah, Abby, Joe, would you like to add to your schedules? What's happening this week?
Absolutely. I will let Abby go first.
I don't know. I just get told to sit places, I guess. Like,
What are you not doing anything on your channel this week?
I don't know, because with Geek Girl Con coming up, my meetings are kind of all over the place. So that's why I haven't put out a schedule, because I'm not committing to stuff right this second like that.
No, that's fair.
That's fair.
Just because I don't want to inevitably have to cancel, or like, just be like, oh, I didn't remember I had a meeting. Like today,
Yeah.
where I was supposed to have a meeting, and I was like, JK.
No, fair enough. All right. So Amanda already mentioned Tuesday. Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific, we'll be back over on Amanda's channel for the Panda and Phantom show. Playing Vivid Memories. I really enjoyed play testing that game, so it's gonna be fun. Telling a little bit of insights of what changed from what I looked at through play testing and what came of the final product. So that should be super fun. And then on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, back over on my channel, Abby will be joining me. And we're gonna be playing Cryo from Z-Man Games.
Finally, I've only been asking for
Finally.
months. I figured out
That's a
the
good
trick.
game. I really enjoyed it.
We've been a little busy.
I figured it out. When I want to play a game, I'm like, let's do it on stream, because then he will like inevitably say yes. I'm like, finally, our list will get shorter.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And for me, friends, you can catch me back here on my channel on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Going to be playing something from my Harvest Festival that I'm theming this month. I'm thinking if I can, I might get Caverna to the table. Don't
Ooh.
quote me on that, but I'm going to try.
Ambitious, Jess. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to try. So we'll see how that goes. Or I might just pull out regular lanterns and just play regular lanterns. Who knows? You'll have to just tune in and find out. But then Wednesday, after Wednesday, I have a Friday stream at 10 a.m. I usually do board game adjacency things like painting minis or doing a puzzle or playing something digitally. And this week I'm going to be painting. I got this really cool ceramic from Michael's Arts and Crafts, so I'm going to be painting it for the upcoming holiday Dia de Muertos. So join me on stream for that. And so that's everything from us, friends. Thank you again to Emma for being a wonderful guest.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
It has been fantastic. Thank you to Panda for coming in and guest hosting with us. It has been fun. And Abby, I'm going to pitch it to you, my dear, to see who we can raid tonight.
I mean, I only had Joe Sandow on, so I was actually going to see if anybody else had any on, because I was like, oh, I've got
It's
the same.
Abby or Joe.
You could, yeah, that's all I've got.
The Hip Barista's playing Fall Guys, which I know a lot of people enjoy. But yeah, Abby and Joe plays Baba.
Ambi, you mean?
Ambi, yeah, Ambi. Because it's Abby Rona. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But they're playing Baba as you. If you wanted something interesting, Sizel's playing Mahjong Monday. Which is quite interesting, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's send it over to Ambi. So Ambi Rona,
Yes.
Abby, like Legends posted in the chat. we'll send it over to y'all there. And then if you want to hit open that tab on Twitch and catch another stream, do the double streaming while you're hanging out on Twitch, you're totally welcome to do that. But I will say thank you to everybody for joining us. Please give a follow to all the wonderful people here. Also, please make sure your website for Emma Larkins is up and ready, so you can go onto the Buffalo Games website and email for when Starry Night Sky is going to be ready for you to purchase. But yeah, with that, friends, I'm gonna say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.